Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. But here's the question that haunts theologians. Did he ever really have a choice? Today we're diving into one of history's most controversial questions. Was Judas a villain who made a choice, or a pawn fulfilling prophecy? And the answer will completely change how you think about your own decisions. Because hidden in Judas's story is a life hack about free will that most people completely miss. And it might be the key to understanding why you keep making the same mistakes. But here's where the paradox begins. Here's what makes Judas different from every other biblical villain. His betrayal was predicted 1,000 years before he was born. Psalm 41 verse 9 prophesies it. Zechariah 11:12 even predicts the exact price, 30 pieces of silver. Jesus himself says in John 13, "One of you will betray me," before Judas makes his move. So if it was prophesied, did Judas actually choose to betray Jesus? Or was he just playing a role that was written for him? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. If Judas had to betray Jesus for prophecy to be fulfilled, then how can we call him evil? Can you blame someone for doing what they were destined to do? But if Judas could have chosen differently, then the prophecy wasn't really a prophecy at all. This is the paradox that has divided Christians for 2,000 years. And if you look closely, the text gives us clues. The Gospel of John tells us something crucial. Judas was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Notice, Judas wasn't corrupted by the betrayal. He was already corrupt. The betrayal was just the culmination of choices he'd been making all along. At the Last Supper, Jesus dips bread and gives it to Judas, a gesture of friendship and honor. This was Judas's moment. He could have repented right there. But John 13:27 says, "As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him." The text suggests Judas opened a door. Evil didn't force its way in. It was invited. Here's what's fascinating. After the betrayal, Judas is filled with remorse. He tries to return the money. He admits, "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." If Judas was just a puppet fulfilling destiny, why the guilt? Why the regret? His remorse suggests he knew he had chosen wrong. But this isn't just theology, it's a pattern. Here's the life hack most people miss. Judas's story isn't about destiny versus free will. It's about how they work together. God can know what you'll choose without forcing you to choose it. Think of it like traffic on Monday morning. I can predict you'll be frustrated, but I'm not making you frustrated. God's knowledge is infinitely greater. He predicts your choices without removing your freedom to make them. Here's where people get stuck. They use "it was meant to be" as an excuse for their bad decisions. It was destiny that I failed. I was meant to struggle. This must be God's will. But that's exactly what Judas could have said, and it would have been a lie. Jesus predicted Peter would deny him 3 times. Peter did, but Peter also chose to repent afterward. Judas had the same choice. He chose differently. Because Judas's story isn't just ancient history, it's ours. You might think, I'd never betray Jesus like Judas did. But what about the small betrayals? The compromise you make because everyone else does it. The truth you stay silent about to keep the peace. The person you throw under the bus to protect yourself. The values you trade for comfort. Judas didn't wake up one day and decide to betray the Messiah. He made small compromises, stealing small amounts from the money bag, criticizing Mary's expensive worship as wasteful, prioritizing money over devotion. Each small choice made the big betrayal easier. Your life is shaped by 1,000 small choices, not one big destiny. You're not trapped by fate, but you are shaped by patterns. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you keep making the same wrong choices, prophecy starts to look a lot like destiny. But there's another disciple who proved something powerful. Both Judas and Peter betrayed Jesus. Judas sold him for silver. Peter denied even knowing him. Both felt remorse, both wept bitterly. But here's the difference. Peter ran to Jesus with his guilt. Judas ran away from Jesus with his. Peter accepted forgiveness. Judas chose despair. Your destiny isn't determined by your mistakes. It's determined by what you do after your mistakes. Do you run toward redemption or away from it? Do you accept grace or reject it? Do you repent or just regret? That choice, that's completely yours. So what does all this mean for you? Was Judas destiny or free will? The biblical answer is both. God knew what Judas would choose. God used that choice for redemption. But Judas still made the choice freely. The same is true for you. God knows the choices you'll make. God can work through your choices, even the wrong ones. But you are still responsible for what you choose. The real question isn't, do I have free will? The question is, what am I choosing right now? Because every small choice is shaping your character. Every compromise is paving a path. Every time you choose comfort over conviction, you're becoming someone who will make bigger compromises later. Where in your life are you making small compromises? What are you betraying for comfort, money, or acceptance? Here's what gives me hope. God redeems even the choices that hurt. Even Judas's betrayal became part of humanity's salvation. Your mistakes don't have to define you unless you let them. Judas had free will. He used it to choose betrayal. Peter had free will. He used it to choose redemption. You have free will. You can become a prophecy of regret or a story of redemption. Don't let Judas's story be just another Bible tragedy. Let it be a warning that saves you from your own betrayals and a reminder that redemption is always one choice away. Subscribe for more biblical life hacks that reveal the patterns you're missing, and drop a comment. Which hits harder? That Judas chose his path, or that he could have chosen differently? Your next choice might change everything.